Welcome to MindSwitch Books. So, what if I told you that the single biggest thing holding you back from achieving your goals isn't your boss, it isn't the economy, it isn't your competition? It's you. Today, we're diving deep into Ryan Holiday's incredible book, Ego is the Enemy, a book that shows us how to conquer the opponent that lives right inside our own minds. The brilliant physicist Richard Feynman really hit the nail on the head with this one. This is the perfect place to start, because before we can deal with any challenge out there in the world, we first have to get honest with ourselves. And that's tough, right? Because our own mind, our own ego is the master storyteller, and it loves to make us the hero of every story, even when we're not. So, here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll shine a light on this enemy within. Then we'll see how it attacks us at every stage of life, when we're aspiring, when we're succeeding, and even when we're failing. And we'll finish up by looking at why this is a battle that never really ends. Okay, let's get right into it. Section 1, the enemy within. Let's really define what we're up against here. This is the core idea of the entire book, and it's a big one. And look, we're not talking about some clinical diagnosis of narcissism here. Holiday's talking about something way more common, something that affects pretty much anyone with dreams and ambitions. It's that little voice inside that says, "You're special. You deserve this. You already know everything you need to know." It's a universal struggle. And this is a super important distinction the book makes. Ego is not confidence. Confidence is earned through hard work, through results. Ego, on the other hand, well, that's stolen confidence. It's an inflated sense of self that's built on air, and it completely messes with our perception of reality. And here's where the book gets incredibly practical. It shows us how this enemy, ego, shows up at 3 key stages of our journey. When we're just getting started, when we've finally made it to the top, and when we inevitably get knocked down. Ego is there at every step, ready to sabotage us. Let's see how it works. All right, on to our second part, aspire with humility. Let's look at how ego tries to trip us up right at the starting line. This right here is probably one of the most powerful ideas in the book, the choice between trying to be somebody versus trying to do something. Ego always pushes us towards to be. It wants the fancy title, the recognition, the corner office. But true, lasting greatness, that comes from focusing on to do, the work itself, the craft, the actual contribution. So how do you fight back when you're starting out? With humility. But again, humility isn't weakness. It's a strategic choice. It means you're always a student, always learning. It means you shut up and just do the work. It means you find ways to help others succeed, knowing that it'll ultimately help you too. It's about building a real foundation, not just a flashy facade. This quote about General William T. Sherman just sums it up perfectly. Sherman wasn't the guy who just believed he was great. His confidence was a slow burn, built brick by brick through actual accomplishment. That's earned confidence. It's real. And unlike the confidence from ego, it can't be easily knocked down. Okay, so let's say you did it. You put in the hours, you stayed humble, and you've achieved success. The fight's over, right? Well, this is actually where ego becomes even more dangerous. The answer to that is a huge, resounding no. In a lot of ways, the real battle is just getting started. Success is a minefield for the ego. It gives it so much more fuel to burn. This is how ego rots success from the inside out. It starts whispering in your ear, telling you that you're special, that the rules don't apply to you. It creates what the book calls the disease of me, where it's all about you. And suddenly, you stop listening, you stop learning, and you lose touch with the very people and practices that got you there in the first place. If you're finding this breakdown valuable, it would be awesome if you could hit that like button and maybe share this with someone you think needs to hear it. It helps the channel more than you know. Sooner or later, it happens to all of us. We fail. We get knocked down. No one is immune. So let's see how ego takes this already painful experience and makes it 1,000,000 times worse. It really is all about your perspective. Ego sees failure as the final word. It says, "See, you're a fraud." So we get bitter, we blame everyone else, and we waste our time wallowing in what the book calls dead time. But humility, it sees failure as feedback. It's an opportunity. It lets you take ownership and turn that painful period into a lifetime, a chance to learn, to adapt, and to come back even stronger. And this all brings us to the final, and I think most crucial takeaway from Ryan Holiday's book, the big idea that ties it all together. This is the bottom line. This isn't a battle you win once and then you're done. No, managing your ego is a daily practice. It's the constant, quiet work of staying humble, staying teachable, and staying connected to what's real, no matter what's happening in your life. So let's just quickly recap the main things to take away from this. 1. Ego isn't confidence, it's a liability. 2. When you're starting out, be a student and focus on the work. 3. When you succeed, stay grounded. And 4. When you fail, find the lesson. At every single stage, humility is your secret weapon. And that's the question the book leaves us with. Now that you can see the enemy, now that you know its tricks, what's your plan? How are you going to fight this battle in your own life? Honestly, this summary just scratches the surface. The book is filled with so many incredible stories and practical advice. If anything we talked about today resonated with you, I can't recommend enough that you grab a copy of Ego is the Enemy. We've put a link for it down in the description. Thank you so much for watching. For more deep dives into life-changing books, make sure you subscribe to MindSwitch Books and hit that bell so you don't miss a thing. Until next time.